Shalom, family. I don't know what happened. It seemed like everything froze on my end. I don't know if it was StreamYard or it was me. I don't know. So I had to just end that live stream and immediately start this one. Hopefully people will know. um, Let me see something here. I don't know if folks are still over there. Okay, I don't see anybody here anymore. Um, hopefully people will see this one. I hope so. Shalom, family. Sorry about that. I it seemed like everything was fine for a moment and then everything froze. So go figure. So I'm glad you're all here. I just want to just talk and sit back and talk about some of the things that are going on. Last night, I would say like about 1 in the morning, I woke up and I felt really weird. And I'm like, what is going on? Why do I feel so strange? I said, is there something going on? And I looked and I didn't see anything. Then I looked one more time. The moon and Venus did an alignment in the sky last night, right? Guess where the alignment was? Directly over my home. It was right above my house. Venus and the moon were aligned. So I don't know. I don't know if it was just so much energy coming down from the alignment that it just made me feel kind of off. And I don't know. Are some people more sensitive when these things in the heavens are happening than others? Maybe some people, you just slept through it like a baby, you probably slept through, you didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. I guess I didn't pay close attention this time around. But yes, it was an alignment in the sky early this morning. And actually, it started in the evening and went on into the early morning hours of September 9th. So I'm like, wow, are we really, are we really this sensitive? I guess I must be. I feel fine. I don't feel the same way anymore, but it must be something to it. You were awakened, Lori Salter. I was awakened this morning about 2 a.m. Yes. Yes. When I woke up, it was like around 1:40 a.m. And that's when, I didn't feel sick or anything like that, but I definitely felt something kind of off. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I was the only one in the house awake. Everybody else was asleep. So it didn't scare me or anything like that, but I definitely knew something was going on. Brandy Drake, you said I woke up at 3 this morning. Yes. Yes. Isn't that something how some people are so sensitive you can feel anything that's going on in the heavens, and then other people you just don't feel nothing. That's unbelievable. I was listening to not Big Levi, I'm sorry, Big Judah, and he was talking about some issues, health issues he was having. And I want to talk about an issue that I did not tell you guys about that happened a couple of months ago. Um, I would say it was maybe like April, May, somewhere around that time. I woke up in the morning, and when I woke up, I had no energy. I'm not kidding y'all. I had no energy, none. So I forced myself up and I went downstairs and I said, I need to just get some, maybe a warm cup of coffee in my system. I walked down the steps, and usually, I walk down the steps and I'm fine. That morning, I walked down the steps and I immediately had to sit down. I had to sit down. My energy was just zapped. And I said, okay, something is wrong. So I did manage to get up and I made it into the kitchen and I made a cup of ginger tea that morning. After I got finished drinking my tea, I went and I prayed. I lit some incense and I prayed to the Most High. And I just said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what this is, but I know I need you right now. So after I was done praying, I made my way back upstairs. I was exhausted, but I made my way back upstairs. And I remember I sat on the side of the bed, and it was almost like a voice said to me, lay down and go to sleep. So that's what I did. I laid down and I dozed off. I went to sleep for about 4 hours. When I woke up, it was a little past noon. Y'all, I am not kidding you. Now, you would think after going through something like that, I would probably wake up and still not feel well. When I woke up 4 hours later, I felt like myself again. The symptoms that I was feeling before, I felt none of them when I woke up. It was like it never happened. So what I did was I went back downstairs and I have a spot downstairs in my house where I pray. So I went back to that spot. I lit some more incense and I prayed and I thanked the Heavenly Father for taking care of whatever was ailing me. But I felt like myself 100% after sleeping the 4 hours. So, to make a long story short, y'all, there is power in prayer. There is. And I remember something Brother L said to me a while back. Um, he said there's going to be many tests, especially in these last days. And I really truly believe that. When we look at the Bible, many of the men and women, the Most High tested them. He tested them. And we see this all throughout the Bible. So why would we not believe we would not be tested in these last days? Of course we would be. Of course. And I think sometimes he will do things like this to us just to see how you're going to react. How are you going to react if one day you woke up and you had no energy? You couldn't work, you couldn't even clean your house or stand and even wash a dish. How would you react? What would be the first thing you would turn and do? Would you just take medication and keep moving on? Or would you pray? Or would you just assume, oh, this will just go away? How do you react? And I think that is really important for us to think about as we're going through these last days. Because, I mean, some of us we're not going to be happy go lucky in these last days. You're still going to be trying to find our way into the kingdom, and you're not you're not going to be spared anything. I wish I could say we all would be, but we're not. So one thing I did when I felt like myself again, I went downstairs, I prayed, I lit some incense, and in that prayer I also, not only did I thank the Heavenly Father for pulling away whatever I had, I I was telling him I wanted him to heal all of my Hebrew brothers and sisters in all four corners of the earth. Whatever's ailing them, please do what you did for me. What you did for me, I want you to do for others. And, one thing I can tell you, it also reinforce that he is listening to our prayers. I really truly believe if I was not the kind of person that believed in the Most High, I probably would have woke up sick because I would not have known, okay, let me pray. Let me um, reach out to the Most High. Most people are not going to do that, and my mother had a lot of health problems towards the end of her life. My mother was heavily into the Baptist church. Um, Neria, thank you so much for the super chat. Blessings and renewed health and abundance in the name of our Father, Yah, Sister Lisa, and family. Shalom. Thank you very much. Um, my mother was heavily into the Baptist church. That's how she was raised. My father as well. They come out of rural America down in Georgia, and they were all Baptists. Well, by the time my mother was the same age that I am right now, she had already had a heart attack. And my mother prayed to what you all know today as Jesus to come and help her. My mother, a few years later, had a stroke, and then she had a second stroke. And by the time she got to the end of her life, my mother had dementia. And it was rough, because she was at home and I took care of her until the day she died. My mother was never placed in a nursing home. We just did the best that we could, and she would never have been happy there anyway, and that was another reason why I did not want to put her there because a lot of times these folks, they want to be with their families. And we are not the kind of people that throw our elderly away, although in this society, elderly people get thrown away. Okay, they get thrown away. We didn't have any nursing homes. If you go and look at the ancient texts, we didn't throw our people in a facility and walk away. We didn't do that. But one lesson that it taught me, whoever my mother was praying to, they weren't helping her. Okay, they weren't helping my mother because her condition got worse. But I can tell you that day when I felt no energy at all, I had to be praying to the right power at that moment. Because, like I said, I went to sleep and I woke up 4 hours later feeling like I normally would have felt on any given day. So it does tell you it makes a hell of a difference in praying to the right power and praying to the wrong one that she learned in the Baptist church. I mean, and I'm being for real. If my mother was alive right now, oh, I would be prophesizing to her all over the place. Thank you, Eddie Banks, for the super sticker. I would prophesize to her, and say, look at your condition. It's not getting any better. But look at what happened when I had a bad episode one morning and I prayed and I woke up feeling like myself again. So it does make a difference. And it just tells you right there, if you're not praying to the right power, there is no saving you. And that is the truth. That's the lesson it taught me. Lori Salter said, thank you for the super chat. I feel in my spirit that the heavenly host is here on earth as well as the angels. Absolutely. I believe that too. So, I think it makes all the difference in the world if you're praying to the right power. Marcella Muhammad, you said the Most High took me off of all these pills at once. Cold turkey. I quit smoking cold turkey, and I quit drinking cold turkey. And this is all the Most High. All praises for you turning your health and everything around. But I'm just saying that I notice, even within my family, as much as I love them, most of my family, ladies and gentlemen, are Baptists. And during the lockdown, I was communicating with some of them, my cousins. And you know what they were telling me? They were getting up every Sunday and going to parking lot church. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't realize that something is seriously wrong. You were in a church house. Now you've been reduced to a parking lot and you don't see that something is not right. They didn't see nothing was it. They thought it was a great thing that they were persevering and going to that parking lot every Sunday. I'm serious. They were proud of themselves. Sherry Maxey, thank you so much for the super sticker. And all I could do was think to myself, wow, this is what you're doing. And you think you're doing a great they thought they were doing something great by going to this parking lot, and their pastor is outside, and they had this collection plate on a stick going from car to car collecting. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, but this is what they were doing. This is what they were doing. But it really is a difference when you are doing the right thing opposed to you're being guided in the wrong way. you know it's a tragic thing to watch. It really is. I remember, like I said, my mom was praying to her Jesus, and the pastor of the church used to come by, and he would do his sick-in visits, and he would come by and pray in the name of Jesus over her and everything. And I'm thinking, now when I think about all of that, I realize how wrong that was, and no wonder why she just kept getting sick and more sick and more sick. And as much as I loved her, and at that time, I was not in the truth. I was not in the truth. When I got in the truth shortly after she died, it must have been something about the Most High that just didn't want me to wake up at that moment. Why, I don't know. But during the time when she was alive, I was not awake at that time. So I thought, oh, well, the pastor and the deacons are coming and praying over her, and oh, maybe all will be well. And now that I look back, woo, was that all the wrong things to do? Wow. You wish you could wake everybody up, but it is just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know, what, Malika Brown, I don't think I could wake up in the church. I don't think I could, but somewhere along the line, I knew something was wrong. And my spirit led me away from the church at a young age. I was a teenager when I left the church. And I left the church in opposition. My family did not want me leaving the church. So they gave me a hard time about my decision not to go to church. I caught hell for that. Samuel Divers, thank you so much for the super chat. Stay strong. I caught hell. I was young. I was still going to school, and my parents were not understanding. They were faithful churchgoers, and they raised a daughter that didn't want to be in the church. That was like, they couldn't comprehend that. So I got dragged. I was told my decision was not, I was told I was never going to be blessed. Oh, I can tell you some stories. Mr. Mystical Black Realms, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Lisa Cabrera, for your wisdom. It certainly comes at the right time. Third eyes are being open. I pray let this broadcast reach and teach. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Mystical Black Realms. And Danielle Meyer, shalom, Empress Lisa. I've missed hearing your voice. Hurricane Ida did a number on the town I live in, Louisiana. It's been rough for me and my children. Oh, Danielle, I am so sorry. I'm so glad you're back. Listen, reach out to me if y'all need anything. I will do everything I can to get it to you. If you need any food or anything like that, let me know. I know how rough it is after a hurricane. I lived through one myself. So if you look at the pent up comment, you'll see my email. I'll put it here, but let me know if you need any help. Let me put my email in. Here's my email. I mean, I'm sorry that you went through that. And I saw how ugly that storm was. That was no joke. So if you need any help, anything, just reach out to me. I'll do everything I can to help you. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was rough. I was a very young girl. In fact, I was still in junior high school when I made the decision that I was not going to attend church anymore. And it was not a good thing. I had people saying things. People were walking up and saying things to me. You would think I grew a set of horns and became Satan himself. That's how people were treating me. So it was rough. And I guess that was probably one of my first tests that the Most High put me through. And I didn't even know he was putting me through that test at the time. I didn't find him until much later. But it had to be something. The Holy Spirit just pulled me out of there, and I was like, You're not going back in there. I don't want you there. You're not going to be there." So, and I was when I was listening to Big Judah, he was talking about how why his son was reading. His son was reading because he couldn't see. Big Judah lost his eyesight for a few months. That's why you heard his son Isaiah on the videos with him. But y'all want to hear something funny? Now, back in July, I had COVID, right? And of course, I did my usual thing. I prayed to the Most High and I said, I don't know why this is happening, but I will turn to you for answers. Before I got COVID, y'all, I bought a magnifying glass from Amazon and it has a light on it. And I was like, wow, I can't see shit no more. I'm sitting up there, I can't see a damn thing. So a lot of times when I was reading articles to you, I was using my magnifying glass to get through it. Seriously, that's what I was doing on my end. After I got hit with COVID and recovered, I kid you not, y'all, I see better than ever. I don't need my magnifying glass. I can read the small print. I can see from far away. I don't know what happened, but my vision got better after I had COVID. Go figure. I don't know why that happened, but the magnifying glass and light and everything I was using before is collecting dust now because I don't need it anymore. And I just never who knew? I mean, I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting older. Maybe that has something to do with it. No, my vision actually got better after I recovered from COVID. And in fact, I was telling True Royal this a few weeks ago because she was telling me how she needs the magnifying glass and she needs her glasses and all that stuff. And I was telling her, I said, actually, my vision got better after COVID. I don't know what happened, but I see better than ever now. And she was like, really? Really? I said, yeah, I kid you not. I don't need no help seeing now. None. I don't need no help at all. So I don't know. I don't know. That is the weirdest thing ever, but that's how it has turned out for me. Gartrell McKinney, thank you so much for the super chat. It's always nice to fellowship with brethren and sistren. Much love, Lisa and family. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, even my son was laughing about that because he remembers. My son remembers looking at me, talking about maybe you need to get a different magnifying glass. Maybe you need a different magnifying glass. I mean, I bought like three different one that I like the most. It has a light in it, light built into the magnifying glass. And then I had another one that covers a full page. So if I'm reading a book, it will just cover the whole full page and I'm able to read. And then I had another one that was a small pocket size magnifying glass. And now I don't need none of them. I don't need none of those. I don't need none of them now. Go figure. Yeah, he does. I mean, he even heals things that, I didn't even think could be healed, but I'm seeing a lot better. But look at everything that we're going through. The virus is getting worse because America is poorly led and managed. I mean, this is really bad when you are sending people out during the height of a bad variant, right? So the worse it gets, the more they're shoving everybody out there, and they're actually making the situation worse. I came across an article last night that said 300% more people in America are hospitalized than in 2020. So, what does that tell you? Let's face it, y'all, it's been from March 2020 and we're in September 2021 and things are getting worse. These folks are not made for this kind of stuff. This is why their leadership has been so bad through it all. And see, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why when America realized they were doing worse with the pandemic than every other country in the world, you notice how quick they took that out of the media and make you think, oh, well, that's not the case now. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's why they took it out of the media, and you don't hear them saying how America is last in the world with coronavirus, which is quite embarrassing, especially since you ran around here talking about high IQs and how you invented science and medicine, and then you should be ashamed of yourself. If you're all those things, which we know you're not, you should be deeply ashamed of yourself to be last in the world when it comes down to the pandemic. Black Cougar 1959, you said, hello, Lisa. I love your commentary. You, Big Judah, Brother L, True Royal, and others have helped me with my spiritual journey, with enlightenment in general. All praises to the Most High. Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat and the words of wisdom. Um, yeah, they're not made to lead on this one, y'all. In fact, if you look at the past 20 years, when it comes down to public health, they have done very bad. Look, don't they consider opioids public health? They didn't do well with that. And now you got the pandemic, and they're not made to handle something this massive. They're just not. I mean, if they really were, don't you think we would seen some differences or some improvement by now? They haven't given us one piece of information that have improved the lives of Americans during this pandemic. Not one piece of information. But they keep shoving people like Rochelle Walensky and Fauci all up in our faces like they are just giving us this great info. They're not giving us anything that's even worth listening to at this point in time, but they don't know what else to do. They don't. So they just keep going to the same tired ass playbook that just doesn't work. They cannot handle this thing, y'all. And I think it is very obvious they can't handle what's going on. They can't. This is way out of their reach. They cannot handle this. I mean, this year and a half, It's been horrible for them. And, I feel bad for the children that are being forced out here when they really don't want to be out here at all. So I just don't know. All I can tell you is make your own decision. And we supposed to be separate anyway. So get up and live your life as if we are completely separated. That's what we got to start doing. We got to start reflecting that separation in our everyday life. Yes, there are going to be moments when you're going to have to deal with certain things, but those moments when you don't and you can stay to yourself, then we need to more than ever remain as separated as possible, because there is no direction coming from anyone in this country when it comes down to the pandemic. All the people they got propped up, they need to unprop them because they are of no use to anyone as far as I'm concerned. I believe they are causing more harm out here in the public than good. And some people are just not made to lead when circumstances are difficult. And these folks are proving just that. You know, just look at it. We got, like they said, 300% more people hospitalized now than last year. And when you are at the height of a pandemic, you cut people off from unemployment, you're trying to evict people. Kids are going in and out of school, closed down, reopen, closed down, reopen. And even places of employment are talking about the workplace outbreaks that are going on. And some places actually had to close. So even if you are not locking down, ultimately you still are, in a sense, if you can't keep schools open and certain businesses got to close because all of their employees are sick. I mean, aren't you still in a sense locking down? You're just, you're just calling it something else. I mean, this is just weird. But no, I mean, I think we have to realize there is no direction coming from these folks. It's none. Right now, they are so desperate to be in charge. They're now threatening people over the jab scene. They are threatening people. They're threatening to take your jobs. They're threatening to, doctors are now out here saying they're not going to treat you if you don't have the jab scene. You have, people are losing their jobs. I saw one, not that I'm upset about this, I'm not upset. The police, they are being threatened with termination all over this country if they don't get the jab scene. Not that I'm upset about that. I really don't care if they get terminated. I don't care. So, yeah. So now, I mean, if things were okay in America, would they be really sitting here threatening people? That just tells you right there, there's a lot wrong. And these folks, they are so far deep into lying. How do you stop lying now? How do you do it? You can't. They're gonna have to keep the lies going. They don't have a choice now. They done got in over their head instead of being honest. But I can understand these folks are not able to handle the truth. So they got the lies are for the sake of their high IQ people. It's not for us, it's for them. Ali bin Zion, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you. So right now, as far as leadership in America, we have none. We don't have none. If there is an answer for COVID, it is not coming from the American government. It's not going to come from a politician or anyone here at all. I think the writing is on the wall. It's been a year and a half of proof that we got that they're not going to resolve anything. They don't have the ability to do it, y'all. Willie Combs, thank you so much for the super sticker. These are people in charge, but they are lacking the skills to lead through something this tough. They just simply can't do it. They can't do it, y'all. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Anthony. That's my leader too. My leader is the Most High. There you go. There you go. Yeah, and besides, there's a reason why this is happening. Daughter of Zion 74, thank you for the super sticker. There is a reason why this is happening. It's just more evidence that we are not supposed to rely on man. And I think as each day goes by, that should be very clear that we cannot rely on man. They don't have answers when it comes down to this pandemic at all. They don't have answers, and they have no plan. And taking it in a different direction, they're just repeating the same stuff that didn't even work a year ago. That's what they're doing. Open up schools, close the schools, uh, getting people out here to work, and oh, they're gonna have to close down this, and this because too many people are. I mean, we ain't doing nothing different. How disappointing, for real. But y'all, they're listening to us. They know what we're saying, and we can't worry about that either. They're going to try to follow us around because they know, in many cases, even other Gentiles know they're being lied to. They even know this. They know. They know their people are getting on these mainstream news channels and lying their behinds off to them every day. If you listen to them, you would think nothing is going on in the country other than unvaccinated people. Unvaccinated people. That's because that's all they know. Unvaccinated people. No, unvaccinated people is not your problem. The 400 years being up and your time is done in rulership of this world, that is what you should be focusing on. You know, get yourself an exit plan and go for real. That's all y'all need to do is come up with an exit plan. Okay, all this other stuff you're doing is for naught, for real. All right, y'all, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I just wanted to holler at you today and just talk about a few things. Please come back a little later. I'm going to be setting up a live stream, and True Royal and I will be doing this one together, and it's going to be on Larry Elders. So make sure you come back. It's going to be 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right. So make sure you set those timers for that time or your alarm, because the notifications work like crap. And we know that's intentional. So I will see you at 3 o'clock. And again, it's going to be on Larry Elders. Shalom, family.